Hello, my name is Jesse Ryan Erickson, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what it is I do and how I got to do it. So, I get to work with books for a living, and I love it. It's wonderful. I get to teach books as an assistant professor in the Department of English, and I get to work with books as a librarian. Now, I don't work with just any books, I work with books that are considered special in some way, and we call those rare books. What makes a book rare? A rare book is rare because sometimes it is really old, say 100 years old, or 200 years old, or even 500 years old, sometimes even older than that. Sometimes it's considered special for some other reason. It may have manuscript material, material handwritten by the author. There's a letter from the author from this book, which was written by a Victorian period author named Ouida. Sometimes a book is rare because it just wasn't widely available, and there are only few surviving copies left. So there are lots of reasons that a book can be considered rare, but because those books are considered rare, they cannot just circulate freely within the library. In other words, you can't just go to a library and take it home with you with the expectation that you can bring it back. What you have to do is if you want to read this book, you have to read it in the library itself. And there are those of us that work in the library that can make that happen. And I'm one of those people. Working with rare books is truly amazing. You get to touch history, feel it with your hands, feel special connections with important authors, and with works that change the way we really look at the world. And so, this is something that I wanted to do for quite some time. I had first visited a place called the Huntington Library when I was only a kid. And as a teen, when I was in high school, I used to visit there quite some time for visiting the gardens with my mother, walking around, but I also loved the library. This library had some of the world's most unique collections of rare books. And it even had the first book ever printed in Western Europe, the Gutenberg Bible, which was printed in the 1450s in Germany. And seeing these books, I wondered, how can a person like myself end up with the opportunity to work with them directly? How does one get in a position to where they could actually get behind the scenes and work with these special artifacts, these really important books? Because I had always loved reading and I'd always loved going to libraries, but I wondered how somebody could work around such amazing collections, such special collections. And by the time I began pursuing it seriously, I was in college. Now, I had explored different paths. We all do. I studied dance for some time, and and even thought about not going to college for some time. I dropped out of school and spent a number of years as a dishwasher. And there's certainly nothing wrong with those years. I felt like they helped shape me. But by the time I was in my early 20s, I really had settled upon this idea that rare book librarianship would be for me. And so by the time I reached 25 years old, I began pursuing it in earnest. And I put everything I had into getting an education that I needed to be able to work with these kinds of books. Now, in order to work with these books, one needs a master's degree. And so I had to go, I started in community college and I worked my way through community college and transferred into an undergraduate program at UCLA. And at the crossroads of when I was to enter graduate school, I really was so dedicated to working within this specialized, very specialized field that I thought it would be in my best interest to pursue it further and to pursue a doctorate in information studies, which is the degree one needs to advance to sort of the top levels of the positions that I was interested in working with rare books. And so I just stayed really, really focused on that goal and worked while I was going to college, maintained a job, got the right internships, and um, really sort of started at the bottom working as a library clerk, a messenger clerk, which is someone who shelves the books at a public library, and combining that with specific internships and getting experience more and more, I was sort of able just to work up to each new stage as I was in graduate school. And after I graduated, I just went on the market, and I was very, very blessed to find a position in a special collections library, and one which I could utilize my expertise. So I'm just here to tell you that if you have a dream and it seems very remote and it seems like it would be impossible to achieve that dream, if you work hard enough and if you have the right mentors and you allow yourself to be helped by those and supported by those who are willing to help you, and you're willing to work hard and stay focused and to not give up no matter all of the obstacles that will get in your way, and there will be obstacles, that eventually you can achieve that dream. So that's what I do in a nutshell. Pursue your dreams, folks.